So subjects today. 171. What is blocking right now? I'm just taking notes for what I want to talk about. This and the contributions. Sipke will do a demo. Do you agree?
Nice.
I agree.
All right.
Piotr has arrived. What else? What am I missing? Okay, new websites. Any announcements today? Let me think. Let me see. No, I have no announcement. What else? Anything wants to talk about something specific?
Yeah, I always have a very short demo.
Oh, again, every week.
Yeah.
Did you stop your? Did you stop university or what?
It's summer, so in summer there's no school.
Okay. Great. So we have Sipke, we have Zoltan too. Always the same people. Daniel join. Yes, contributions. I will talk about it. Demo, websites.
Oh, there are two things. First thing is that I've spoken with Daniel yesterday, and he mentioned about very important thing is that we take a lot of contributions, and there is almost none unit test for that. And really, when you look at the current unit test, it's lots of features like that. So maybe we talk about maybe if someone fixes a bug, there needs to be some correspondent unit test that shows the bug and fix. So
so he did a great job with his last pull request by providing unit tests. So, but not everyone does that. I might be the first not to create unit tests accordingly to new features and bug fixes. And but
maybe we should start something like that.
Okay, we don't have too much time to work on things. Let's find more time on unit testing. Yeah, I agree.
For contributions, one of the problems is if you get a pull request, do you refuse the pull request because it doesn't have tests? Or do you write the test yourself? What do? Do you ask the author of the patch to add tests? There is a fine balance to have here between not discouraging new contributions and having the proper amount of tests. So if anybody has any ideas how to solve that conundrum, that would be appreciated, because I don't.
Next step is when you add a new feature, you also provide a documentation.
Documentation today too. Samuel hasn't answered, so I'll try to ping him again, but we don't have an honor. I had to answer yesterday to a person who made a pull request for the documentation, and that a while ago, and that hasn't been integrated. So yeah, we need to find a solution fast for this.
So to demos, we can talk about unit test and documentation. Okay, that's a good set of stuff to talk about. So let's start with 171. It's still not released, and I'm still blocked on two things. First is a live writer bug that I can repro and that I can't explain yet. So I start to think that it's a local issue with live writer. I will try to repro it on a live instance, on the external instance. I can't get live writer to work, and I don't know why. I think Antoine filed a bug for this with some trace, but which doesn't explain why. Even Fiddler can show me the request, it's like LiveWriter is not sending the request. Or it sees Orchard and it says, no, I don't want to work with Orchard. I have to check. So LiveWriter bug is the first blocking. Second blocking issue is the main issue is Daniel Stolt, who's here. I'm waiting for him to push his changes, and just because they are awesome changes. If they were crap changes, I would just fix LiveWriter and ship. But I want what he has done for Azure. So he's done a lot of work on Azure integration. This is him who made the pull request last week, including changes on publishing Azure, on publishing the Azure solution directly from Visual Studio for the cloud service. And he's working on refactoring the Azure module I have added last week as part of the main project, and he's including. He has included, but it's not pushed yet, on top of the blob storage feature, an output caching feature for Azure, and also database caching for Azure. So which will make 3 different features on this module, and we will be able to use them as part of websites or web roles. And also is changing how the settings manager is working to be able to get any properties in the settings manager from web config pertinent, and also the portal if you run on Azure, or any other settings provider. Because apparently, from what he said, I trust him, the new configuration API that Azure is providing lets you implement different providers for the settings. So that's a nice addition. I'm sure Piotr would like it too. I don't know why, but so you can extend the settings from any provider, and it will take them from web config and the portal. So that will be nice. So that's about the changes done. Then, if you want to say something, Daniel, you can.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. First community meeting for me, so hi. The only thing that I'd clarify, Sébastien, is that I'm actually in final testing of the module, which I plan to conclude tonight. If everything goes well, then I'll push the changes to my fork. And as you know, I'm waiting for your feedback on what's happening with shared caching in order to really finalize that part too. So
yeah, the story is that there are 2 kinds of caching in Azure: the role-based cache and the shared caching. Role-based cache is still there, but shared caching disappeared. And shared caching was actually what we wanted to use with the module, which lets you use a cache service between instances, even on Azure websites, and not just Azure roles. So I'm investigating internally in the group, in the Azure group, to see where it is now, and to see what we have to do for next steps. But I'm sure the API won't be broken, and yeah, that's an investigation that Daniel is waiting on. And when Daniel says tonight, he lives in Sweden, which means it's now.
That's true. I didn't even notice.
So for us, it's today. It will be pushed, and I will be able to review.
As Sipke can attest, my day starts at noon anyway. So
yeah, even for Sipke, it's today. Because Sipke is in California right now.
True.
Great. Eric, are you in Sweden too? No, but near. Yeah, that's the same.
Almost.
Almost. Yep. So Eric, so just to summarize, the contribution last week have been awesome. I've pushed so many pull requests that, and from new people, this was magic. So Daniel pushed something on Azure and he's still working on that. This would be an awesome pull request. Eric pushed lots of things on a branch named Framework 4.5, which is moving everything to 4.5, and it's working. I tried it, and it's working. And I already have a very nice good work to do with this branch, because I was expecting actually Louis to work on integrating Owin today, so I will have to ping him. For those who don't know Louis, he is Orchard, or Orchard. He threw up Orchard. Okay.
Louis Desjardins, right?
Louis Desjardins, yes, it was the main architect on Orchard when Orchard began during 2 years. He's now working on Owin, if you know Owin. If you don't, you should. That's a pipeline of services like HTTP modules that Microsoft is working on as a new ASP.NET to integrate in the ASP.NET stack. Web API is running on Owin. Lots of things are running on Owin and will be running on Owin in the future. So this is awesome work, and he will help me to integrate Owin into Orchard on the 4.5 branch, because Owin requires 4.5. So that's why Eric's work is already about to be used. And I'm sure Piotr will also like the fact that we are going on Owin, because he will be able to plug Signalar so easily and whatever, I don't know. Yes. So and also nice thing with using Owin is that we will be able to kind of make HTTP modules. So let's see Owin as Owin middlewares are HTTP modules. They are not HTTP modules, but they behave the same. You can intercept anything and return anything from a middleware from Owin. And the Owin integration will let us have different middlewares per tenant, and any module will be able to plug new middlewares. So this will ease our work to create new kinds of modules, and maybe also in terms of performance. So we'll see how it goes. So thank you, Eric, for your Framework 4.5 work. And for all the people who wanted absolutely 4.5 to work on Orchard. So continuing on that matter, I will share my screen to show you what has been done during last week. Where is the share screen button? Share desktop. Smile, Bertrand. People can see you. And front below, it's even worse, you know, because of the curve of the face. Okay, so 6 days ago, 7 days ago, this one. So this change is from so you can see his face. Beautiful guy. Okay. Are you a model? So various updates. And at some point we screwed the branches, and I could not pull it in the fork. He had to make it again. He was so sad. He wanted to drop Orchard. So, but yeah, finally he made it. Piotr pushed his fix for the multi-threading issue that we talked about during last meeting. This one is about. Oh yeah. I think I haven't talked about this one last week, or it was not yet done. So there is a new activity in the workflow module for form submissions. So you don't have to plug to content created or content updated. There is a form submitted now activity for forms, like in the roles module. This is fixing the media migration bug for drafts. This is tokens for, actually one token for the media library field picker, so you can get the URL of a media as a token. And Jeff 3B, I can't remember his full name, Jeff. is working on adding more media library field tokens. For instance, all the properties we have on the media by default, like the MIME type, the type of the media, caption, description text, things like that. This is what? Oh, maybe a small bug from a previous commit I did. This is from Daniel, a big patch, and also unit test. Look at that. There are more unit tests than code. Crazy. So this is to be able to install a module with dedicated specific versions, not just the latest one. Okay. This is 4.5 work. No, this is not 4.5 work. This is something that Eric found a bug. Wrong web config files, actually, which were not caching by default the static content. Just small bug, small issue, not even a bug. This is a fix I did over Nick's fix, because Nick you changed this file to comply with the W3C standard for the date time in the date tag, and actually it didn't work. It was throwing an exception because you can't use the ZZZ format when you are using a UTC date. It's not valid. So they say, yes, what you need to do is to inject just the Z char when you are using UTC to say it's a UTC date. And then it works.
That's okay.
But yeah, just improving your stuff.
Yeah, no, cool, good catch.
Then this one, yes, based on some feedback from a very nice customer you will hear about when he ships. I've added the container ID to the index in the search indexes. Just some small addition. We had everything from the common part, but not the container ID in the search index, so I have added it. The goal is that you can do search queries saying, give me all the blog posts for this blog, and you can pass the container ID. Done. I refactored some code and fixed some bugs in the tenants creation code, because there were some reports about deadlocks and failing tenant restarts when you are creating tenants while others were hit. So I was able to reproduce the issue and to fix this thing and not then to repro it. So this should work now. This is some work from Eric. You see, modifying all the web config files and all the project files to target 4.5 manually. Another one. This one is reverting something I broke. This one is try parse in case you haven't configured the specific activity. We don't care. This one is fixing the comments module, which was not calling create before calling update, and then there was an auto flush issue with an Hibernate, so you could not use actually the comment publish event to start a workflow, which is sad, because you might want to trigger an email when a comment has been created. And this one is another contribution from B. Grabkowitz, who has added some feature to do output cache to be able to define custom vary by request headers. So you can make your cache vary by some specific headers in the request. Useful. And you also refactored one specific request header which was used specifically, and now it's handled by the generic thing. That's it. So you see awesome submission last week, Daniel has still to push some code, and this will be good for 171 once I fix the live writer bug. Question, remark?
I'm wondering if that increased rate of submissions has anything to do with Git.
I don't know. So let's take, for instance, those 3 nice contributions which are used contribution from Eric, from Daniel, and from B. I don't know his first name. Sorry. We had never heard about them like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Who are those guys?
Okay, nothing to do with Git.
So I don't think
in your
so.
case, Eric. Daniel is typing something. Nothing to do with Git here either. Okay. Just wondering.
What might have changed maybe is that I actually try to be very diligent into taking new pull requests and following them. So every morning I look at all the current pull requests, see their status, comment on if I'm waiting for something, and I'm even pinging the people if they are not following my questions on the pull request, saying, hey, have you so and I take them or I decline it.
Yeah, that certainly maintains a dynamic. So
yep. So yeah, they can tell you I'm very active on this thing. Well, and there are some waiting for this. So and I also decline some of them, but I apologize. So and I explain also why. So if I go now to source code, you will see there are a few open, but lots of them have been approved. If I go to pull request, 4 only. So for instance, this one from Jeff, you see, so actually what happened is that someone opened a bug for the media library tokens. I pushed the token and then he commented, hey, but what about adding other tokens for this? And I say, sure, go for it and do a pull request. He made a pull request. Then I say, based on this change, well, you can see it here, he was not chaining the tokens here. It was created with the text here. This was not there, so I just said, okay, can you do that? And I could do it. So you see, I could do it, but I said, please do that, and also do that. And look at the note. I could do it, but I just ask you to, because it sets a higher level of expectation for pull request. Okay. And it also teaches some quick reflexes for the next one, hope you don't mind. So the idea is that I could have taken his pull request and fixed it by myself, but I'm teaching him to do it correctly. So next time it will be much faster for us to take the pull request. So it's like also working on how we work together on those pull requests. And so he did it, and apparently I missed this one, and I can pull it now. You see, it's perfect. Now there is the token, and then there is the chain. So when you do .mime type, then you can do .trim, .whatever applies to a text. So this is how we did this one. And if I take the other ones here, this one I'm still is waiting on me actually. I still have to explain or to see why it should not be done like that. It's just for blocks permissions. This one is from Sipke, but I think I have pulled it, no?
Yeah, this has been pulled in.
So why is it? Okay, maybe I forgot to accept it because it's not in my email box. I must have removed it from my email box, but not from
I'm also
here.
looking for the client-side validation fix. I'm not seeing it. I committed it 3 days ago, but maybe...
Yes, you committed it, I remember. You committed it directly.
I did.
Oh, no, I know. Oh, let me see. Pull. Maybe it's an old... You see, it's there. No, yes, here.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Data annotation, blah, blah, blah.
I need to update my
And Zoltan fixed something like 2 years ago. Okay. Yeah.
This was a huge change.
Yeah, it was on purpose. You know, as I explained 2 weeks ago, on purpose we make those dumb mistakes so that people can provide pull requests for easy changes and get accustomed to how to make pull requests. And you fixed one. That's sad.
I'm sorry.
It was an Easter egg.
Yeah, click on that one, Sebastian.
This one.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So K Mulder is Kevin Mulder, who is a dev in a big company using Orchard, and I have asked them if I can disclose their name, and they are using Orchard internally to using as a framework, not as a content management itself. So I'm still waiting for the approval to disclose their name. Yep. So pull request. This one I should close it because it has been included, I think, last week. I will check everything. And the two others are. This one is I'm talking right now. So kind of a little argument. He was pissed off by my comment, and then okay, I agree. Okay, we agree then. And yeah, it's about using the. So the idea is that the issue. This is nice to talk about this one actually. Let me go on issues, and you will give your opinion. You see 20,000. Boom. So the view field comments exit always replaces new lines with BRs, okay? Which means when you create a text field, like a text area or a text field, if you provide new lines, the template itself will replace the new lines by BR tags, okay? So you don't lose your new lines when it's rendered on the front end. Even if the flavor is set to HTML. So if you don't set the flavor to text or to text area, but to HTML, it will still process the new lines and replace them as BRs, which is bad. So for every new line in the HTML, you will get a new line on page. And he created a pull request. And to fix it, I don't know if we can see it here. So at first, he had changed it to use a pre tag just to keep the formatting, and I did not agree. I wanted the logic to be as a filter actually, and not in the view, so people could reuse the BR, the new lines as BR, but as a filter, because it should not be in the view. And what he did also is change the logic to use pre-tags, and I think it's worse. Look at that. It would add actually a pre-tag with a default style, font family inherit, okay, and I said it's really opinionated. Why would people want a pre-tag? I think it's wrong to add a pre-tag. He thinks also it's wrong now because it's not allowed actually in HTML to have a pre-tag in other container, or in a span as it is today in the default template. But I think no, it's wrong. It's wrong. Even if it was allowed, don't add a pre-tag. I was okay just to change the new lines into BRs, but not to add a pre-tag. So what do you think? He agrees now. You agree. So now it's like this, just modeled value, no more weird encoding and replacing BRs, and it's a filter. And the filter can check if the current what is the flavor is just text or text area, okay? And don't apply for other flavors. But now I think it's good. He says, all right, I understand, thanks, but you can still integrate a fix to my... Yes, if it's for BRs. I assume everyone agrees. No.
Yeah, sounds fine to me.
Okay, Nick agrees. Okay. Okay, if the UK and the US agree, then the world should follow us. Next step, Syria. Okay. Then yeah, that's it for pull requests. Yes, they're almost clear now. I need to push everything. Actually, everything is okay. Just one change has to be discussed about the block permissions, but that's it. So that maybe also explain why we have more contributions. What else? Contribution, Sipke, demo?
Yeah.
You're in the list.
Okay.
In order.
Yeah, guys, so last week or the week before, I showed something called buckets. After discussing with Sébastien, we...
You know what, Sipke? This morning I was on Skype with someone who's at the meeting right now, and he said you were smart.
Oh, thank you.
I almost lost. No. He said
you
that,
laughed?
but yeah.
Well...
No, go on, sorry.
That's okay.
You are. Somehow you are. We are all smart somehow.
In a certain way, I agree. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So last week, the week before, I showed the buckets module. After discussing this with Sébastien, we concluded it's basically the lists module, but with a couple of tweaks and enhancements. So I want to show status on that and get some feedback, positive, negative. And I have a question for Sébastien based on our conversation yesterday.
I just hope that Bertrand will like it because he pushed for it too.
We'll see. We'll have to make some. It's not done yet, but if I can find the.
How close do you think you are, Sipke? Because I
Sorry?
remember speaking to you about it. This is buckets, right?
Yeah, well, it's lists now. It's lists resurrected, basically. So, can you see my screen, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me quickly show you how to...
Wait for Benedict.
Yeah, we don't have it, sorry, yet.
You see.
Come again?
We are far away, so I can't see your screen yet. Okay, I got it now. I got it now.
Okay, so what I'll do is quickly mimic how the blocks module works by not using the blocks module, but using the lists module. For that, we need two content types called a blog post, which we need to create.
Orchard doesn't even have blogs. That's...
So essentially the blogs module will just end up being a migration.
Could be, yeah. And a couple of recipes maybe.
This was a challenge from Bertrand.
Because it allows us to do more flexible stuff. And also, I think blogs, it's a little outdated. It's not I don't know if it's using auto route. Anyway, so right now you could use...
what will it use then? Oh, you mean its own route management? No, everything is using auto route.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that, but
well,
there were a couple of other things that looked really outdated, which could be done more nicely with auto route.
Okay.
Anyway, oh yeah. So the important thing is to be able to be a member of a list. You need to attach the containable part to your type, because that will allow the position to be maintained within the list.
You heard that? The position.
Yeah, the position, which it's being sorted by that value in ascending order. I'm checking off creatable so that it doesn't appear underneath the new section here. And in a moment we'll see a list appear here. So that's our blog post, and blog posts should be members of a new list called, we'll call it blog, but we also want to mimic what we have with blogs. So we want to have a collection of blogs. So we need a blog content type that is both containable and a container. We can attach anything. For example, the body in this case could represent the description of the blog. It is containable, it is a container, and it should have a title. Does not have to be creatable.
So I don't understand what it has to be containable.
Well, a blog itself needs to be containable so that it can be a member of the blogs list, which we'll create next.
Okay.
Right. So we'll create a. So we now have two types of lists. We have the list content type. This is enumerating based on types, which have the container part. So we'll create a blogs list, which contains blog items. And now we can create a new blog called my blog, for example. And a blog itself contains blog posts. So that's nice. We can manage all these two lists via this list menu item here. But what we really want is to have a menu item called blog, and then be able to create new blog posts and even new blogs. For that we have a thing called list definitions. This is an old one. And that's an issue. Sorry about that, guys.
Your link maybe is wrong. Try to rename your URL list definition. No? Or didn't you change also?
Yeah, I did change the name yesterday.
You say that's it. Yeah.
You're right, thanks.
It's the link in the menu actually, which is wrong.
Correct. Good catch. So we want to create a list definition, and basically it's a thing that will show up in the menu to the left, and we can give it a name. We can select which list it should represent.
I think it should be in the list creation.
Yeah,
so
I've been thinking
because
about
you already have because it's the container. Yeah, so just add a section menu text position done.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, it's already there. It's if you go and look at the list properties, there's an option here, show an admin menu. I need to hook this in, but I agree it needs to be part of this UI here. So right now we have blog, which lists all of our blog posts, because this is actually pointing to the blogs list, which can contain multiple blogs, but since it has only one, it will navigate straight to that blog, which will in turn list all of its blog posts. So now we can easily create new blog posts. I'm thinking, I don't know what you guys think, but seeing this, maybe sometimes it makes sense, but when you set up a system such as a blog engine, maybe you don't want to see this, and it should be a setting on the content type itself, pre-configured, and then it...
I agree. But that's one of the most annoying things I hate about containers and containables.
Yeah, same here. It should be overridable if you want to, but
yes,
it should be a boolean there.
Okay, so and I agree with that, and so that will be a change made as well, and then it will be. My aim is to make this as transparent as possible, so that you don't even know you're working with a list. Once you set up a blog engine like this. +2 1. Oh yeah, this is the thing I was talking about with Sébastien yesterday. Right now we see a list of items. We agree that this should look the same as the content list. So using the summary admin display type. The reason it's like this right now, initially I mimic the content picker field so that you can choose items, and then it
but the order is not going to be important in all cases, right? So maybe there should be a setting as well on the part to specify if you want ordering or not. And if you don't want ordering, then it's ordered by reverse creation date, like everything else.
I see. So you're saying being able to change its position within a list should be optional, configurable?
Yeah.
It's just in the UI actually, because the property is still there,
Sure.
but just
Well,
show it in the UI or not.
I don't know if you don't want ordering, then you should revert to a default ordering, which would be creation date reversed, like it is for blogs, for blog posts.
So in the list, you can define the ordering options. Do you want to be able to reorder things? And if not, what do you want to order by default on? For instance,
what are the choices here?
Okay, no choices. The default will be then the creation date, and the option will be just reverse or direct order. What I suggested to Sipke is for more complex ordering, like I want to order by first letter of the title. This is a projection. You use projections to order your list.
Yeah.
Yeah, same with weighting as well.
Yeah, the weight is there, and you could still use it in your projection. You could say first order by weight, then title. And
then by creation date or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the idea, right? So you can use projections to order it in any way you want, or just manually maintain the position easily using the position.
But yeah, and as Bertrand says, because it doesn't make sense in some cases, an option to show it or not to be able to reorder it would be nice.
Yeah. So
because you could break
field,
things.
Right?
You could imagine, oh, I need to put my blog post one on top. No, don't touch it.
Well, it'd be great if this was, if you think of a bunch of slides, and you wanted to just drag slide one to the top. This would be ideal.
Yeah, but
this bring a list of slides.
This should work.
I was thinking adding an action here so that you can say I want. It's like an action, a command. I want to, or whatever I have in my list right now, I want to sort them by creation date, publication date, or title, or owner name. That was my idea, but are you saying it should be configurable on the content type level so that it will automatically always?
No, you just show or not the reordering.
Okay, and if you don't show it, then
if you don't show it, it means even when you display a container, because you haven't shown the container yet and you haven't tested it, I think, when you display it, you will need a default order. So look into the configuration. If it says don't show the reordering, you just order by created date.
I see. Okay.
And if you show the ordering, you want me to order by what you order, by your order, and then this is your custom order by weight. And if you want something else, this is a projection. This is not the default behavior of the display of the container.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So,
could you also change save to save all, make it consistent with how the wording, like navigations as well? Because navigation uses the terminology save all, so it might be worth just keeping the terminology the same.
Yeah, we could do that. Maybe then we should do the same for the content picker field, because this is a copy of the content picker field.
Okay.
But also, yeah, and right now, you can, publish or unpublish in line, and once you save, it will update. We decided to change that so that publishing or unpublishing will trigger a post back page refresh. So that's a small change we'll be making. This all works. You can bulk publish, unpublish, delete, move from and to list. Let's quickly create a new blog to show that off. Tutorials. See here we have to specify again this tutorials contains blog posts, so it would be nice to be able to configure that on the content type level. And we can choose items to add to this list. What's important to know is that items, they are contained by a list, so they can only be part of one list.
Yeah, that's containability.
Yeah.
Otherwise, use taxonomy. This categorization.
Save. You'll see notifications that the items have been moved to this list. And that's my question for you, Sébastien. Yesterday we discussed this should be, rendered as a list of summary admin using the summary admin display type. But how it's implemented right now, it's using client-side JavaScript. So whenever I select this one, I get back a JavaScript object, and then I bind it using an account template.
Yep, I understand.
So the issue, of course, is that
you can do it. It's done in the media library. I think it's a public API now in the admin to render a summary server side using Ajax.
Yeah, so that was my question. Should we use Ajax then to render it server side and then add it? Okay.
Yes, why not?
Yeah.
Well, unless people don't want to see the summary, but I think it's cool to see the summary here.
In any case, I would want to see the the owner, creation date, publication date.
Not only is it cool to render the summary, but it's extensible because you can extend the summary admin.
Yeah, exactly, which you can do with this view right now.
The thing about the summary admin is it can take up a lot of space on the UI. It would be nice if we could toggle the summary admin on and off, to be honest.
Change the summary.
Like a collapse all and an expand all.
Maybe an extension for. But this is a different discussion. You can use the summary admin and work on what the summary admin does. What I was also suggesting to Sipke, and it's actually what you're saying is that we could have, as in the widgets or as in the modules page, a toggle on the top right where you can switch from summaries to lists. No, actually, it's
modules.
On the modules. So when you're on the summary view, on the list of the summary views, you see on the top right, you could go have some behavior like that. So it's still a summary, but client side, we can change how the summary is rendered to take less.
Something to be investigated, but that would be nice. Personally, I like the single lines. It's more.
So if we have toggles, everyone's happy, and cookies and cookie storage to remember what you are using and done.
Oh, yeah.
And when you're reordering a lot of items, for example, you'd want them to be as small as possible because crawling is always problematic.
Okay. Yep, I agree. It can be so client side. So use a summary, and we can make a client side on a different work. What I don't like is
cookies are out. Use local storage.
Yeah. So what I don't like is how you created the lists, because when you click on lists, we can see lists itself and blogs. What I will do is rename lists to list definitions. And so, what you see,
list definitions, yeah.
Yes, because blogs is a list definition, and when you create items of this list definition, blogs, you create blog items, which are actually lists of blog posts. So this will make sense. You will see list definition, blogs is a list definition, and whenever you create a blog, it's a list.
Did anybody mention also the fact that we don't have a new blog post admin menu entry here?
Yeah, and that's because
there are too many. Yeah, there are many blog posts. That's why you have two blogs, so you don't see new blog posts. It's like in Chart.
Yeah, right. But if you had only one,
you could see. Look at that. You mimic the behavior. So, and I think the demo is nice, but next time you do it, don't use blog and blog post, because we try to see how it works. You need another paradigm, another kind of list, but blog and blog post. This is not obvious.
How does this work, Sipke? Because when we spoke, I was looking for a way to kind of do hierarchical content. How would this work if you were looking at doing like hierarchical content where a piece of content lives under another piece and then that lives under another piece?
So let's make blog post container 2, and let's put news containable and with container. No, can we do that?
So you're saying create a new content type called news item?
Stupid example, just to have a... Yeah, I always do the same. What we should do is a button. When it doesn't exist, appear a button which says created.
Yes.
Because we always do that. We type to search, and no, I want to create it actually, sorry.
Correct.
Or when we say create new type, it should take the text which was in the filter. And
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
So Bertrand is doing it right now. It's pushed in a pull request in 2 minutes. Finish your stuff first and
Yeah, otherwise I just need to make a quick note because there's many things and I'll just forget.
I have a book of orchard ideas. We don't have orchard books, but I have a book of ideas.
Sounds useful. Okay,
So
so
if you
this
make
will
it-
be a news item.
Yeah, and you make the blog and containable.
It is
And you-
containable.
Yeah, and you make the blog post container.
Okay.
Do that, or maybe actually the blog post should be a list, and instead you should create a new definition, and blog should contain this list. Does it make sense?
No, can you repeat that?
Okay, no. Later we don't have time. Maybe we will try to make. So the question is from Nick is create a hierarchy
Yeah.
of
So
things,
for now,
multi-levels.
let's make a blog post container, a container.
Am I right, Nick? That's what you meant.
But by doing it this way, then we've defined that they can only have, for example, 3 levels unless someone goes in and creates another level.
Yep, and of whatever you want, because you
Yeah,
could
but-
say A
but what
contains
if you-
A or A contains. Okay.
What if you want page, for example, to be
Chapters, and, yeah.
page and then something underneath page and then another page underneath?
Mhm.
Think about how a spider spider diagrams work and they go all the way down.
Yeah, percussions, yeah. Okay.
And how we can use this to mirror that.
So does it work? No.
Yeah, so there's a minor issue I realize now. If you don't select a specific type, then it can hold any type of content. But if you create new content, this is not correct behavior. You should be able to create any new type of content using whenever you create new content using this button. So that's a bug. But yeah, so hierarchies are configurable like that using container and containable.
But I think what I'm looking for is almost like an infinite hierarchy. I want to be able to say this is my parent page. And
Infinity is provided by the fact that you use the same type as a child as a parent. If it can handle the multiple relationship itself, it will be infinite by definition.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you replace news by blog post. If a blog post can contain a blog post, the
Yeah.
contain blog post can contain also a blog post. So
And how would that be mirrored on the UI?
you don't see the hierarchy, you just go one step after the other. And because it's using pop-ups, and we discussed this scenario before, you can, when you create a new thing, well, I hope it's still a pop-up because that's what we talked about, Sipke. When you say add new blog post, if you open the view into pop-up, then you can also add new blog post to this blog post in another pop-up and so on. It will stack the pop-ups. And then you save, going down, and you have your tree.
Yeah, so this new blog post thing is not yet a pop-up. That's
Okay.
that's the next thing on my list because exactly for that functionalities or user experience so that you can create hierarchies like that.
Another thing that works great for creating hierarchies is taxonomies.
Yeah, but this is not the same thing. Yeah, yes.
I know it's not the same
Yeah.
thing, but it works today.
Okay.
Yeah,
And it has great UI.
But it's a taxonomy of the same kind of thing. Here what he says, let's say you want a chapter which contains pages, which contains paragraphs, and you want to create a book. A book is a list of that, which will contain chapters, and each chapter has to contain pages.
Okay, so that's yet another scenario.
And this can be done with
He
list.
was talking about an infinite hierarchy.
Yes, but so if you can handle this thing, chapter, page, paragraph, then let's say a paragraph can contain paragraphs, and this makes an infinite. Because when you create the sub-paragraph, you can open again a sub-paragraph and so on. This is what he says by infinite.
I understand. All I'm saying is that in many cases where you need when you need an infinite hierarchy, you can use taxonomy.
Yes. His case is about different types at each level of the hierarchy. Or maybe in his case, if it's just pages containing pages, do a taxonomy in this example, because make page a taxonomy term, and that's it. If you want to mix types, the list is better. If you don't want to mix type, it's taxonomy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud. Would it be interesting to also have a tree view to represent visually the hierarchy? So right now I have to drill down from list. I click on an item and then I see its list.
That'd be really nice. If it was pushed over a little bit, kind of like how the navigation menu shown, where you've got things nested underneath each other.
Doesn't work.
Well,
Edging. How will you do that?
Edging. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. Thank you.
yeah, there is a tree module that you can extend.
It's called the tree.
Yeah, you can extend it with new providers, and actually it would be nice. This way, people who want the tree can use it, and people who don't have to.
Is it called a tree? The
Yes.
tree. Okay.
Fantastic module.
Who wrote it?
I did.
So let's see now awesome work, Sipke. Let's see Zoltan's demo.
Can I just one more thing? Oh, okay. Well, my one thing is that when you're creating a container, it would, and I think we've already covered this, is that it would be nice if you could select what it could contain rather than in the settings, rather than it appearing in the UI.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, we discussed that, and I think we all agree that would be great to have. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, that's it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, so can I go on now?
Yes.
Alright, and I will share my screen. It will be much shorter, but it's a small module, small feature, simple but useful. So let me know when you can see my screen.
You can do great stuff with small things. It's Nick's wife who told me.
Alright. Can you see my screen now? Because it should be up.
Not
It's loading
yet.
for me.
Okay. So this will be about a new Lombic module, or actually not new because this was done started like a month ago or 2 months ago, but now I like to demo it. It's called anti-spam, and it has a single feature. Banana, can you see my screen now?
Yeah, just this moment. It's loaded.
It's loaded? Alright, great. So what this module does is it prevents spam bots to post content type editors by adding a small check that can't be circumvented if you have JavaScript disabled. So if you have JavaScript disabled, you can't post a form. So how it works is the following. I'm demoing it on lombic.com, so it's a live demo. There's a new part, or rather there's a part contained in this module. It's called JavaScript anti-spam. And now I can go on and add this to e.g. comments or a contact form. So we have a contact form here. And as you can see, we have JavaScript anti-spam part edited. No configuration or anything else is needed here. So what happens now, if we go to this contact form, what's here, now if I turn JavaScript off, I won't be able to post it. So let's see.
It's like an automated reCAPTCHA.
Yeah, I turned JavaScript off too late. So let's reload it now. Sorry?
So you are computing client side, some thing that the server defined, and if it can find the answer, it means, oh, you didn't work.
Yeah, it's just substituting a hidden field. Okay. So that's what you get when you, if you don't have JavaScript enabled when you load the form. Now,
There was
this
something
is-
like that a long time ago in the Ajax control toolkit, if you can believe it. You might want to check it out to compare techniques here. It's an interesting idea. It's surprising that it didn't go very far in mainstream sites.
It could be turned on by default even on commands.
Yeah, because it's a super simple technique. We used to get a couple
Coming
of
from you,
spams.
we didn't expect much, but
Thanks, Sébastien. That's quite a compliment. So we haven't received any spam since using this module, so it works. And we have received non-bot submissions, so it works for people.
I like it. Yeah, usually people send a pull request to be integrated in core, but you have a company to run and.
But wouldn't just a simple technique with honey, the honeypot form field work? The same as good. So you put some hidden field, or it's hidden through CSS, so users don't see it, but bots will feel it. So if you have a value there on the server side, that it must be a bot. It's much easier and doesn't require.
You can do both actually.
Yeah.
Well, if we have the JavaScript, people can go through this thing. It means they are interpreting JavaScript on the client side because they found your trick, which means if they see also the CSS thing, they are not stupid, they will fix it too. So if you manage to prevent the JavaScript thing, the other one is peanuts to do. So it's like I have a big vault with 10 inches metal, and inside there is an open door. You just have to open the door. The open door is the door to open is useless because you have already opened the vault. So if it was just the honeypot, yes. If you have the JavaScript. Okay, everyone agrees? Do you want to see awesome? So what do we do with that? Is it on the gallery?
I think Zoltan dropped off actually.
Okay.
He has to reconnect because he didn't hear anything. Sorry, what was the question?
What do we do with that? Is it on the gallery?
I think not. It's only on Codeplex.
Okay. If you want to push it on the anti-spam module, you feel free to do that. If you
Is
want
it
to.
Git or Mercurial?
Mercurial, of course. Lombik goes with Mercurial.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oops. I'm not sure you can see my IM, and I will open it locally too.
No way, Flame and Grill pubs. Another pub.
And I will share my screen if I can. Boom. That's bad. This one is nice. Malaysia web design and web development. Basar Soft, Turkish website. Florida Citrus, service unavailable. Little Joe Auto, same thing, auto dealer, like we like. And an RTL website, so this one was posted from this morning, and on Azure. I know this guy.
Oh yeah, that site.
Some new websites, that's nice. Oh, Adrian made a website with our child. We didn't know that. This looks like an old website. Yeah, I think I've seen that a long time ago. What's next on my list? Everything important has been discussed. This can be postponed. And I think we are good. Anyone wants to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention the moving all the repositories to Git, especially those caching ones that I
oh yeah,
reminded you on.
Yeah, I need to suggest. Or we need to define a strategy for these modules that I have made, which can be supported, which are useful, and nobody knows about them.
Yeah, they're mentioned in docs, so yeah.
They're not even in the gallery. Yeah, those modules are on Bitbucket and are Mercurial. Yeah.
Maybe you should create a copy of that and just create both, but develop only on the Git one. Just, so people won't hit 404 when you migrate.
Should we have another Codeplex module, Codeplex project for modules that we support but we don't ship with the source code, like Orchard contribs?
No.
Why not? Sounds reasonable to me.
Reasonable, but there is reasonable, and we want to do that.
What would be the structure of that repository? Because
I don't know, just modules.
How do you integrate that into an existing site? Where do you put that
gallery? We still publish them on the gallery, or?
Yeah, but if you like to update your modules through the source control, how do you do it if you have more than one module in the repository? I would love to see that problem solved. I've mentioned it before. By being able to, add, custom module folders.
And also probably you don't want to have all
the
modules. So it would be reasonable to have them in separate repositories or somehow separately manageable.
Can you, in Git, with Git, clone a specific folder, a subfolder? And I'd like to try that. Maybe you can do that. Well, we can still have them separate repositories, and but we need to advertise, to publicize them. Yeah. Okay. But yes, at least move to Git, maybe for consistency.
I've got one request, Sebastian. Been nearly a month now, and is there any chance that
I'm too busy today. I know. I should look at that. How can let me enable this thing? Start my video. You say, what can you see? Tell me if you can see something. Can you see something?
You have a window?
You have a board?
Oh, I have a window. Yeah. Look. Can you read? I can. You see here? Can you see my finger?
Yeah. Oh, Nick.
Nick, this means do that, dude. This is my thing to do, my list of things to do, and you're there. So I don't forget you, okay?
Thank you.
I'm just a dick, and So many things to do. It's there. You're on my mind every morning. I come, I look at my list, and
You're a lot more than a dick.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I waited a month.
Is that what Nick's wife said too?
He says I'm a very big dick.
Nick, you're a lot more than a dick. Imagine Nick's wife saying to Nick, Nick, you're a lot more than a dick, and that rhymes. And to me, she would say to me because for
makes me sad.
Okay, so speaking about those unit tests, so actually, what should we do? Maybe if someone does a new feature or a non-trivial bug fix, maybe we should require a test.
Yes, Piotr. First thing to do is the commit you made last week. You do a unit test for that.
Okay, yeah, I know. I don't follow that.
And this is the issue. Yeah, we can just ask people to do that, but we don't require them to do that. And I won't spend my time doing unit tests for people. Maybe what we can ask is a functional test, so that to say yes, start like clicking on buttons and script it in the spec flow so that we can reproduce that it works or it breaks.
Yeah,
this is the simplest unit test to do. Yeah. So.
Well, what I was just saying about maybe you should just require from people, providing something.
We will never require from people to provide tests. I'm already very happy for people to provide things that.
You're going to discourage
Yeah.
people from contributing if you do that, I'm afraid. We can encourage people to do it, we can ask them nicely, we can lead by example. All those things are good, but requiring people to provide tests, that's not
But
gonna work.
if someone provides a big, a new feature or a really non-trivial test,
Like
it
workflow?
shouldn't be problematic for those people to write unit tests. I'm not speaking about fixing typos or something that is not breaking, but something that could be possibly breaking.
Yeah, well, ask first, and if they say no, that's weird.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so maybe not requiring, but asking for unit tests.
Yeah.
Maybe people will just follow.
Most of the time when you see people who don't provide unit testing, it's because they've never done it before.
Yeah, again, a very sad joke, but don't rape people. Just propose first. Good, no?
It's a good one, yeah. Should keep that in mind.
Raping is bad. Okay. So same thing for unit tests.
It was a smile after you said it. That's what freaked me out.
Yes, I still work at Microsoft because I'm alone. Okay, so 15 minutes past the time. Great meetings, great demo.
Documentation.
Yeah. Documentation.
Yeah. So I've had two people reach out to contribute to documentation. One of them wants to contribute documentation, but not necessarily own documentation, which I can understand. Maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need one person who owns documentation in that they take the pull requests, and I can certainly do that at least as an interim thing, but not necessarily take ownership of writing the documentation. But I think we need as many contributors to documentation as we can get. So I'm kind of making a call to contributions to everyone listening here. Think about it, look at what's missing, and I don't know, maybe each of you try to contribute one topic. Let's see how that goes. Okay. Crickets chirping. So...
I'll write documentation on forums if it goes onto the gallery.
Okay. That's good. There are easy, low-hanging fruits, such as the new features in 1.7. They are not documented right now. We like those features, so...
It's on purpose. It's on purpose. I only know those features.
That's not true. The media gallery, for example, that it's easy to document that.
I know things that I have hidden and only myself knows, and on purpose.
Well,
so when I am independent,
first,
I can make big money by selling those secrets.
Somebody writes the topic, then you read it and you augment it with the bits of knowledge that only you have.
Yeah.
I'll tell people how to use HQL stuff. How's that?
Don't document it. People will know it exists and they will start using it. That's so bad.
Okay, who else volunteers to write something on a 1.7 feature?
I'm sure Daniel will agree.
Who wants to take workflow?
Daniel will agree to do the Azure stuff because it's already done.
Great.
I will try and have a look at HQL.
Okay. Workflow. Who wants to take workflow? Come on.
Oh.
Antoine.
Excuses, Sipke. Okay, well, if somebody wants to write documentation for the new media library and for the workflow feature, please let me know.
And there are two sides on the topic, the using and extending.
Yes, I wanted to ask if it's API reference or the user manual or something like that.
API reference.
Okay, it sounds different.
And then a tutorial on how to create an activity.
Yeah.
Not API reference. No, it's
but that's lower priority.
Yeah.
Yes, so user manual, actually.
Yes.
Hey, Zoltan, you might be able to sneak in written by Lombiq at the end of it.
Sorry?
You might be able to sneak in at the end of if you write some of the documentation written by sponsored by Lombiq.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I will add something.
This topic is sponsored by Lombiq. Awesome.
Yeah, that's fine. That is absolutely fine, and it's a very good idea. Thanks.
Thank you.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, really.
Then I will think about workflows probably.
Well, okay, you don't have to decide now. If you want to volunteer for something, Antoine said that he would think about it. Send me an email and we'll discuss the details. We don't need to make that meeting any longer than it is.
Okay, thank you. See you next week.
See you guys.
Bye bye.
Make great websites.
Bye everyone.